So before I will start, I apologize, I'm a little ill, so my voice will be probably not strong enough, but I will try to survive during this presentation. And I will have a presentation on behalf of two persons. First of all, Andrzej Górski from Olsztyn University. He's a senior researcher and he studied roller since 30 years. And I am from BirdLife Poland, from Polish Society for Protection of Birds, and we are running the projects for roller conservation, and we facilitate the both research and conservation of this species in Poland. I have prepared my presentation using the template which were delivered by Gabriela, so I will just answer on the question I was asked for. The most important question is, do we have breeding rollers in our country? I add, do we still have the breeding rollers? Because in fact, we have in last years quite a bad development. I will explain you. So you have here the map of Poland with some pointer is working here. Are you sure that it is a pointer working here? This red is. Which is? This one. Ah, yeah. Okay. So, generally in Poland we have three subpopulations, the northern one, eastern, and southern. In next slides I will explain you how is the development of these three populations going in our country. So, since from the last year, the 2016 monitoring, we have checked 103 sites where roller was recorded in last decades. Within 35 sites, the birds were recorded in last year, and we have only 16 confirmed breeding pairs there for probable and 15 possible breeders within all 35 sites. Here you have the graph showing the development of the breeding population in last decade, in the last six years. And as you can see, the green one on the bottom is the confirmed breeding. Then the red one is possible breeding, and the blue one, probable breeding. Generally, we have slowly but steadily decreasing population of roller, despite of our quite important project actions, which for short time make a little recovery, but it doesn't help in long term, at least till the last year. For summary about the population size and trend between last 16 years, we have in 2016 this 16 up to 20 breeding pairs, so it's generally the moderate decline within whole Poland with some population growth rate assessed on this lambda shown here. A long-term trend based on Andrzej's study since 1980. By the way, I don't know if it will be, yeah, it will be better if I put it in this way. So you have see the decline from 2000, which were leveled 1980 up to 2000, and from 2000 we have very low number below 40, 50 breeding pairs. So strong decline in the whole population in Poland. What are the main threats for rollers in our country? Using this template we received, so critical threats, high and medium risk factors. So generally there is no critical threats identified, but we have several high risk factors, and the overall is just intensification of agriculture. So since we joined EU, we decided to join the common agriculture policy, produce a lot of food, and became of milk and honey country, and it has their own effect. So within this intensification of agriculture, we have first of all conversion of a lot of grasslands into arable land. Then within this arable land we have a massive increase of maize, corn acreage, so large areas are corns which are then turned into silage and for milk production. On the other side we have abandonment of small-scale pastoral practices, so no sheep more on the area and no good habitats for rollers there. And we tend to have the more clean landscape to remove dead or dying trees from former cultural landscape. And what are the main drivers? Of course, especially in the northern Poland, in this population, when we are now still have this small numbers of rollers, the main threats and main driver is the milk production. So, for example, here you have a very nice Narew Valley near Łomża, and of course well-developed milk facility, milk cooperative, which stimulates the production of milk all over the area. So we have a lot of such facilities now all over the areas, and in effect we have a lot of cows, lot of cheese, but of course the population of roller and other species which are connected with such extensive low input agriculture landscape is decreasing. For medium risk factors are more or less the same, I mean the continuity to the intensive agriculture. So loss of nature-friendly, low intensity extensive farming, which were very common in most of the areas in Poland, and everybody who visited Poland in 90s know the picturesque landscape of rural Poland. Then in many other areas which has a very poor quality of soil, within the state reforestation project, there is projects of reforestation of open marginal land. And sometimes such open landscape are now covered by new forest areas. Then, of course, within intensive agriculture, we increase the use of pesticides, hormones, and other chemicals in agriculture. And one of the most valuable fertilizer when you have cow production is manure. So in every area that we have now increased use of manure as a fertilizer. And last but not least, in some areas, especially in southern Poland, we have some years with very unfavorable climatic changes in the breeding season. So in late 90s in the southern Poland in 2000, yes, I will quickly finish. We have very adverse weather for a few years, which wipe up the whole southern population in our country. So generally, such landscape with open cultural habitats slowly disappeared in our country. What we have solved, first of all, the main threat was the shortage of the breeding sites. So it was then within our project exchange into the breeding boxes. We have put 300 breeding boxes, so some surplus of breeding boxes for rollers, and they start to occupy the breeding boxes. But many other threats have not solution yet. Besides of this surplus of nest size, most of the threats I have already addressed are not solved. Despite of new nature protection regulations, where there was so-called zonal protection of nest, as roller is breeding in this area mainly on private land, it was impossible to enter such type of regulations in our country. Generally it will have not effect on breeding of roller. So our main goal in Poland is now to work how to stop the population decrease, at least to stop it on the current levels, circa about 30 breeding per, and then try in long term to increase the population size. Within our activities we make several projects. We have developed a national roller action plan. We have prepared a special planning recommendation for urban road and rural developments in the main breeding areas of Poland. And roller is included in state monitoring of birds, so it's regularly monitored in the whole country. There are series of research that taken mainly in Olsztyn University by Andrzej Górski, which help us to understand the population trends in Poland. One of the most important is this supplementary feeding. Breeding success in pairs which were supplied with crickets during the chick feeding period is significantly higher than this which was not supported. So we introduced this supplementary feeding, especially in the time of adverse weather in Poland. About the monitoring, I have already explained you. So all known nest sites are regularly inspected in Poland in 3 subpopulations. Goals which were considered completed in Poland, we will discuss probably during the preparation of action plan, so I will skip it. And we have considered to make any reintroduction project, as in Warsaw Zoo we have quite good facility to reproduce birds from the local population, but then we should prepare all the steps for rewilding them, to putting them back to the wild, and enabling him to migrate to their own migratory route. So these are just in summary results of conservation and monitoring of our last 16-20 breeding pairs of roller in Poland.